Hello everyone, and welcome to this latest video. This is my second flight in the F-4U Corsair by Magnitude 3. This is in DCS. It was released just today, and earlier this morning I took my maiden flight, kind of a seat of the pants kind of thing, off the carrier deck, just went around the pattern and landed. God knows how, but it worked out, landed successfully. So this is my second flight. And this time I'm going to do what I normally do with all new airplanes. I kind of do a more scientific approach to things. Start with a basic takeoff, trim her out, and then just do some basic flight maneuvers. Fly around the pattern. We're going to test the vertical. We'll do some loops, half cubonates. Then we're going to do some rolls, slow rolls, snap rolls. 4-point rolls, and then we'll test how she does with stalls and spins, and we'll bring her in. So that's the plan. I'm just going to go downwind now, still trimming her out. The takeoff was really a non-event, nothing really special. You don't need full power for takeoff. Takeoff with just a bit of flaps. I'm pretty sure on the longer runway you don't even need the flaps. She climbs with the flaps down. She climbs flaps at like 10% or something. The first setting, she climbs quite fast initially. She does need a lot of trim depending on the throttle setting and the speed. And I have never had to use a rudder trim on any plane. This is the first one where you do need to trim the rudder in addition to all the usual aileron and elevator trims. And the trims, you need to keep retrimming all the time. You also need to dance on the rudder pedals. Because she does have a tendency, especially at slow speed, to kind of go this way or that. The nose tends to dance around quite a bit. So here we go down the runway. At the other end we're going to do a half cubanate, which is just a half loop, and then on the way down we're going to roll right side up. And we're going to repeat that at the other end of the runway. So down we go again. Picking up some speed. This time the throttle is wide open. I'm trimmed for full throttle. Now we're going to go up again. Not quite perfect. I should have kept it a little more straight, but that'll do for now. Roll upside down, roll right side up. Let's try some rolls. Rolls are surprising, to me at least. I expected her to roll much faster. I don't know why. I don't have much experience with F-4s. Haven't read much about them. But for whatever reason, I thought it was going to be a much faster type of roll. But it's fairly actual, just not very fast. So let's try this again. This time we're going to go roll to the right, and I'm using the rudder, and now left roll, and since I'm trying to use the rudder, they come up a bit of a snap roll at the end, but again, I need some more practice. So we're going to do a little chandelle now. We'll come back down the runway. And this time we're going to try, let's see, maybe a 4-point roll. Now we'll just do some, actually, let's test how she does in knife edge flight. not too bad. She doesn't drop the nose as much as I thought she would. With that big long nose, I thought it's going to come down a lot faster than that, but she holds it for a bit. She's not an aerobatic kind of plane. You don't expect her to behave like one, but she does pretty well. Alright, now let's try a 4-point roll. Pick up some speed, down the runway. Now let's go. 1, 2, 3, and back to upright. Now a slow roll. Okay. Another chandelle, and let's line up with the runway again. And let's try inverted flight this time. Should have done it better. Let's cam a little off the runway. What I want to do is I want to see if, how responsive she is to the rudder when inverted. So I'll see if I can fly, interesting. I wanted to fly inverted circle, but the engine cutouts, I don't know if the engine on the F4 that's modeled is carbureted or fuel injected, but that may have been a software glitch. I don't know. I didn't think the engine would cut out. Maybe it would. I just don't know much about the F4s. Either way, I guess for now I should avoid prolonged inverted flights. But the engine came right back on as soon as I turned right side up. Once again, knife edge. A little bit, now a little bit of a wing rock. And what we're going to do now is we're going to climb for altitude and do a spin. So I'm going to skip over that part, and now I'm at 8,000 feet. I'm going to initiate the spin to the left. I'm going to kick the rudder over. Torque is helping, keeping the elevators up. And now I'm gonna release and try to stop the roll by pushing forward, the usual standard recovery technique. A little bit of throttle, and she does recover. She porpoises a little bit, nose down, tail down, nose down, tail down. But she does recover. She loses. I know you can't see my instruments because of VR, but I started at about 8,000 feet. I came out of it probably around 4,000 feet or so. So I did lose, that's including the spin, I did lose about 3,000, maybe 3,500 feet or so of altitude. So not too bad, as long as you do it high enough. I'll probably try it again in the future. I need to know if I do get myself into a spin, what's going to happen, but she definitely recovers. So now I'm just doing a slow roll the length of the runway, single roll the length of the runway. This is obviously much slower than she can roll. Let's try the same thing, going the other way. So this was a slow roll to the left. Now we're going to do a slow roll to the right. Here we go. The idea is to do a roll which lasts the length of the whole runway. And I kind of blacked out for a second here. Okay, now we're going to test out the stall turn. So I'm going to go up, cut the throttle, a little blip, and kick the rudder over. She she's hesitant. She doesn't quite. She porpoises also a little bit, just like during the spin. Nose comes up and down and wiggles from side to side. Not a very clean maneuver, but we'll try it on the other side. Let's do a sequence of rolls. We'll do 3 of them back to back. Again, rolls are nice. Fairly slow, but they're actual. You don't need a lot of rudder. In fact, you almost need no rudder. Let's do a slow turn on this end. So we'll go up. We'll cut the throttle, let her coast for a little bit, and then we'll blip the throttle and kick the rudder over. And this time the nose came up or something, and I almost put her into a flat spin, inverted flat spin, which was a little scary this low to the ground. But managed to recover without too much trouble. Once she picks up speed, she's fine. But try not to keep her below 90 for too long. Anything below 90, below 80 maybe, and she stops flying, so does weird things. Alright, so now we're gonna do a quick 360 to the right, and we're gonna test a 360 to the left, but my airspeed has kind of dropped down to about, right now I'm doing about 130, 120. These things are nice to know in combat situations. You want to know how well she performs at slow speeds if you ever get caught, but obviously you should never really get caught into a turning slow speed fight with the Corsair. Keep your speed up or you're in trouble. Speaking of slow speeds, I'm down to about 100 knots, maybe 95 knots. 1 notch of flaps down. I'm not sure if that's 10 or 15%. I'm going to put 30%. I'm going to call the tower. I'm going to set up the land.
In field 1, inbound.
I'll do a short final here. Just going to turn myself around, gears down. See how she does a quick turn. What helps is if you go to the if you turn to the left, that huge prop with that engine torque is actually going to help you roll to the left. You just got to be ready to kick the right rudder to right her up, because at these slow speeds again, she easily drops a wing, and she's very happy to drop a left wing, like right now. So you got to be ready to intercept with the right rudder. And let's line up now with the runway. Flaps are coming down, full. And again, you need a lot of trimming, and you need to dance on the rudder pedals a lot, because that nose keeps swinging left and right. She's very twitchy. Once she's trimmed out, though, you know, for a certain regime, she flies just fine, and landing is really a non-event. Just careful with the throttle. You just literally need a hair of a throttle. If you go anything more than that, the nose will swing around to the left, and you need to counter with right rudder. Just try to be gentle with the throttle. Other than that, she's easy to fly.